All right, let's go ahead and follow the meeting order.
Yeah.
Okay, they've been waiting for that. All right.
What gave it away?
Okay. At this time, we'll proceed with the agenda provided if there's no dissent from the board members present. All right, start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay, looks like we have a quorum when everybody's present. For attendance report, do you do have one?
I just do a few things in there. Summer learning, we talked about this last month, but also, or we ended on the 7th. So those are a couple pictures. That's actually a quote from a parent square post from a parent. Going back, that was last week. But the picture on the left there is the ESY kiddos at Brockway, which is a cute little picture of them over at the safari. Actually, I think there's something in the packet, a donation, 7 up there. So that was the actual picture of the donation day. So they had a bunch of fun, including giraffe feeding. And then on the right there, that looking glass crew over at 10 down. They had a lot of fun on that day. But summer learning was fun. It's an amazing opportunity for the kiddos to have some access. And then the next slide, back to school. The MES, LES vestibule is nearly complete. So that's exciting changes. Long time coming. And the control access doors are like the last thing that we're waiting on, I believe. And so we're hoping that those will be wired and functional before kids get here on the 25th. Touch and go. But anyway, if you guys have a chance, if you're at MES or LES, we'll go look into the entrances of the school and you'll see the new vestibules, which is a nice addition. All staff return on Monday, August 18th, which is next Monday. I mentioned the summer school success. And then the admin team, we were back on the 4th, on Monday the 4th and the 5th. It was last week, which is crazy how fast time flies. And then we all joined up at Eugene for an AI paint conference. I does appreciate that. Continue to learn about AI and the impacts it has on education and kind of where we're going and being aware of how we're going to navigate the changing landscape in the world that we live in. And then the last on the back page there is an invitation for the board members. We'll be on the 18th. We'll be up at the Douglas High School Gymnasium for an all-staff breakfast. So if you guys have an opportunity, be nice to see you up there. Have a breakfast, and our entire Winston-Dillard staff, approximately 220 or so staff members will be there.
Okay. And I don't have anything.
Okay.
Items of discussion. I think the first one is an executive order 2509 for electronic devices, K-12 school description is review. I don't know if anybody got to read up some of those, but that was pretty interesting. And then getting a little sarcastic because it seems pretty redundant.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same thing over and over again, but you can explain.
Well, I mean, I think that
To summarize it maybe a little better.
these guys will agree with me that I'm overthinking this time as well. Executive order, but we have a policy in place that has really restricted the use of cell phones during class time. So we even include, passing periods at the secondary level. So it's really going to be more for us is just an enforcement, bringing the staff on board and then making sure we're all on the same page for enforcing that policy. But the JFCEB So OSBA came out with a couple policies that, are in there as well. And then, so, you know, my thought is that the executive order, specifies that you have to have policy adopted by October 31st. And so with the second readings, my hope is that we can get together, a little committee and just review what that policy should look like. We can go to that if we want to go to that real quick. The executive order itself is going to be redundant.
So it's not gonna start first day of school?
He's saying we already do it, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just gonna be enforcing it.
Yeah, I've been sitting through with the superintendents for about 6 weeks now, since the executive order came out. A lot of them have said, we don't want to mix it up in the middle of the school year. My concern with that is just having staff come back on the 18th, which is Monday, and then, you know, however we've been enforcing it in classrooms, in the hallways, with all of the other things that we're doing, in regards to getting ready for the school year, just implementing the policy right out of the gate on the 25th, and then asking our staff to enforce it and putting them in a tough spot where they're getting into power struggles with kids because of the way things have, you know, the way we've managed it in our buildings. So my thought was that we would just continue to have the policy as it's written in our handbook, which already states we're not going to do that. And then now our admin team has time to communicate with their staff effectively about this is how we're going to enforce it.
Staff and students.
Staff and student, and parent, sorry, and parent.
You know, the times we're living in, you know, they use that cell phone a lot.
Which is part of the problem in the classroom.
Yeah.
Does the staff use their cell phones a lot? It did mention something in there about the staff being an example for the students and thinking about that. It's like, how do you know, you're telling them you can't do it, if you were doing it. It seems like that we should be real conscious of that as staff, not being on our phone all the time and doing that. If there's a need for it, is there a time that the staff could use is there a way they can put it off to later, use theirs? Is there something we can address there?
Yes. Great. Thanks for bringing that up. Actually, I shared with the team some language around like the staff development. Norma I sent that to you and Terry as well to kind of give them, and it's not in stone, but that's another piece, Bobby, that I'd like to talk as we get going on the school year. You know, create a team and an opportunity to discuss what the expectations should look like for staff as they do as I say, not as I do. That's not really going to work too well in the case of cell phones. So it's going to be, there is language that we've shared with everyone. And I can share that with you as well. That's just kind of like, hey, these are our expectations for our staff members in regards to using your cell phone during the workday. Yeah.
So do they in their rooms have ways to communicate with the office if they didn't use their cell phone?
Yeah.
They have landline phone.
Yeah, landline phone that can actually receive even like announcements through the speakerphone.
Gotcha.
I know how it is, in the employment, both places I work, we use our phones a lot. Recently we can't because we're driving, it's hands-free.
Yeah.
But the distraction it causes and trying to do your job, it seems like not only just the students, but the teachers should be aware that, hey, this is taken away from what you're doing. And it seems like there might be something that we could kind of emphasize to them to try and participate in that.
Absolutely. Well, and that, I don't want to speculate and say I know what the phone usage during the workday is for every staff member. But yeah, there's going to have to be some expectations that and some due process in regards to, and really just even the enforcement, not just with administration to how staff are enforcing it, but also for staff and how they're enforcing it with students. And my concern about just starting them right out of the gate is like I said, getting and supporting teachers without that due process for what the expectation will look like, and getting into power struggle with students. And now we have an incident where, you know, it blows up on us and we have a parent down here who's upset and the staff members saying, you told me to do that last week on the 18th. After we told them 1 million other things to do to get ready to prepare for kids. And so I think that not that we're going slow or we're going to ignore this. I just think that this is asking anyone in our society to give up their cell phone right now is going to lead to some disruption. And so my thought was that we would, we would have a chance next week when staff are back to really communicate with, I don't even know that, I guess once again, I can speculate on the percentage of staff members who even know that there's an executive order banning cell phones from school. 30%, 40%. I mean, hopefully they're out doing their summer things and not paying attention to them. So I think that, and then Kim makes a good point too when I say banning, and there's already schools that have done a lot of, Medford has a nice message, Lincoln County has a nice message, and it's actually a web page, which I think that we should do as well. And it's really just talking about cell phone free. Hey, we're a cell phone free district, and the reasons why we are in the executive order about all those. It says the 54% of students that are at third grade who have seen some inappropriate thing on a PED, usually accidentally. And so these are the stories of the reality. I don't want to get judgmental by any means, but this is like an executive order that's about a decade late, maybe longer. And now they're saying, even in July. So it went into the legislative session, it didn't pass, which is why it led to the executive order from the governor. And so now we don't want to really, I think, jam this down on our staff and students and parents' throat when we've been doing this for however long. That was a really long version, but I think that we should just keep having a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to form a committee tonight. I think that we should, I think that unless anyone has like dissent with amongst the board right now, if we have we can all agree that that would be the process that we're looking at. If you guys agree with that, I can work with the team to kind of start to build. I think that it's almost going to be more than one committee. Like Norma's here as the union president too, whatever supports we need for you to communicate with your staff about there's going to be new expectations for not just how you handle enforcing cell phones, but also how you use them in the workplace. That nature.
I think they're a good tool. Don't get me wrong, but I think there should be a place and a time, maybe if you're trying to ask your kids not to do something or to do it, it should be maybe a good example and follow the same. And then, you periods or whatever you come up with.
Yeah, and just to clarify, so what the executive order is saying is bell to bell. So like at the high school, that first bell rings at 7:25. The expectation is that cell phones will be powered off, and put away either in a locker or a backpack or some storage area until, they have an open period until lunch. So the executive order does allow secondary schools with open lunch periods to use their phones. The students may use it during that time. And then as soon as that bell rings to go back to class for fifth period, they're powered off and put away in storage or a locker or their backpack until the bell rings at 2:49. And then even when, there's other things about field trips and extracurricular activities, athletic events, the executive order, which the folks have been across the state have been arguing about and fighting about this, is that like, even if I go on a field trip at 10 a.m., it's between the two instructional periods, so there's no cell phone when you're on the field trip, you're on the bus, and that's what it's going to be done. People have that, it's moved to that to the point where we can all kind of agree that the bell-to-bell cell phone ban makes sense, but then, athletic events and other times. Who's going to be monitoring that when they're on the bus, all of the rest of it. So there are some other things that we're working out in the meantime. Yeah, cell phones are going to have to be off.
I don't think that, I would like to think of it as not a control thing, but, creating a better atmosphere for the kids to learn. I mean, so that they can stay focused on. Yeah.
The side effect of the amount of bullying that would cut down.
Yeah.
Before school, like.
You just got broke up with on your cell phone, you're not broken. But that, yeah, every time that goes off, you know, I'd like to throw it away. I'm for it. Get rid of it.
So just, okay, in that too, there's the executive order, there's the frequently asked questions as well, that was attached to that. And then there's the PED overview, and then there's those two policies as well. So OSBA came out just on Monday with, there's the JFCEB, which is PEDs. And so if you get a chance, and there's a lot of little ones, you know, you see language and then there's like one, and then so you go down and it gives you more, there's like 7 of those now. So if you guys get a chance, you can read through, my thought was that just with the policy, we can pull together a committee to include if you guys want to be on that, and I can communicate with, I can email you or call you guys if you want to be a part of that. And then in September, we'll have our first reading of our cell phone policy. And then we'll have our second reading in October, which I think April 10th, I believe that's the October, second Wednesday in October. And so we'll have our policy adopted by that, what the executive order is asking us, which is October 31st. And then that'll give us a couple months to continue to have these conversations amongst our staff and our community and our students. And then once our policy gets adopted, it's like those are 2 short months anyway with Thanksgiving, and then it's like, you know, we're on Christmas break. So it's that last kind of like, hey, when we come back in January, guys, we'll be enforcing this, and we'll be, you know, this is what the expectation will be. And then so our staff and our students and our administration team, everyone will be on, and our parents and our community will all be on the same page for having a good plan and the reason why we're turning our cell phones off during the school day. That sounds okay.
Okay. Okay, so student handbook update?
Yeah, that's, Craig, actually, this is my fault, I apologize. In there, I attached just what the new student handbook, looks like at Douglas, and it should have been the track changes one, so where you can actually see the track changes from OSBA. But, so in your board packet is the 25-26 student handbook for Douglas High School, and then the middle school and the elementary schools will be getting to you as soon as possible.
All right. So next to the document consensus agenda. Does anybody have any questions on anything in there?
And then Winston-Dillard School District Board of Directors approved the consent agenda as presented.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. No. Okay. People.
No, 8, action item.
Action answer. District Equity Committee.
Yeah, for that Senate bill, we talked about this last year quite a bit, that Senate Bill 732, the school board will approve the district equity committee. So it's really just, you can see the motion there. We need to,
We just need to make a motion.
we just need to make a motion, and then beginning in September, we'll have that team where we're meeting and talking about culture. It's really our culture and climate meeting that we've historically always done anyway. So
I move that Winston-Dillard School District Board of Directors appoint members recommended by the superintendent to the district equity committee.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, communications, hopefully we have anyone signed up for that, so if we're good of the order, well, Dave?
Go first, I can't one up anybody.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at the district office for such a warm welcome. I think we successfully got the meeting recorded tonight, so. Off and running.
Emily?
Yes, summer learning ended strong. Kids had a great time, like Kim said, and all of the great things that the kids do. We also had some great comments from parents, that because we made it fun and engaging, they didn't have to have their kiddo out of bed in the morning because they need to go and participate. So that was really nice for our summer school teachers to hear. And we also, I don't know the exact number, but our attendance was up from last year's summer school program. So kids were more consistent being there. So that was exciting. We have Meet the Teacher coming up next week. Teachers are very excited to welcome all the kiddos into our building and let them choose their desk and around the room and whatnot. We also had in-person registration. It started today, and we had the most ever people come to in-person registration. And they weren't even really there to fill out the things. They had already done that. They just wanted to be in the building. They wanted to say hi. They wanted to look around. Really interested in the new vestibule and what that looks like. So it was nice to start seeing folks in the building.
We also had summer school in ESY, and our summer school numbers were definitely higher than last year from what I hear. Lots of fun, really dedicated staff that did their very best to help our students have a great summer. My custodians have gotten to kind of work around all of that happened. We kept it kind of to one end, but super systematic and thoughtful in planning of how to get things done in time for teachers. And still, we worked really hard this summer to hire and fill some positions. So we'll have quite a few new staff members at Brockway, varying from, I think I heard 34 years of teaching experience down to first-year teachers and kind of in between. So I'm super excited to have that going on. And again, I just thank our custodians for the hard work that they do all summer long. It feels really good to come into a senior school. And I am very excited about year 2 at Brockway and can't wait to see teachers and really can't wait to have the company. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
We also had summer school, and our ESY team went to Brockway, and I heard from a parent that she's very happy with how ESY was going over there, and that the students were very much enjoying it. This was the second year for summer school at McGovern, and I think that both years have been a great turnout so far. We've had about 30 kids in our summer school program. This year, I was very impressed with our teachers and how many of them were willing to teach during the summer. And just to come in the summer in general, we had 2 summer school teachers, and then we had another teacher who came in for a week to do some STEAM projects with 4th and 5th graders. So that was really exciting and fun. And we also had a summer planning session right after school got out, which we had many teachers attend that, and that was really exciting as well. I think we had at least 10 teachers there, maybe more, who showed up, on their own time to work and plan for the fall, which was really exciting. And just to show the direction that we're moving into, I think and how eager our teachers are for what's coming. And yeah, we also have vestibule, a new fence. So a lot of physical changes to the building or structural changes, and I'm preparing for how we're gonna get that news out to parents before they show up on the first day that, hey, there's this huge fence in front, so we're working on that, and yeah. Whatever.
What's that?
Don't come to the September meeting. Yeah.
You ready for comment?
Yeah. Do you get a lot of comments on the fence? Seems to be a topic. Great.
So if you show up at school, the football field's green with lines on, it's that time of the year. Kids are out playing football, soccer fields are full, gyms are full of volleyball right now. Marching band's marching. It's an active campus right now. So we're back. It's really neat to go up there and smell that green grass up there. And, it's that time of year where it's starting to all come back. So it's kind of fun seeing those kids out there running, getting in shape for the fall sports. Ready or not, it's going to be Friday Night Lights before we know it. So here we go.
Yeah, you can notice a lot of those senior boys that lift a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah. It's been a fun year so far. So.
Thank you. Rob?
It has been a nice transition. Staff have been coming back into the building. They're excited, starting to get things lined out. Our summer school program was smaller than we'd hoped. Students had a great experience, and the last couple of days, they were going around meeting staff. Everyone pitched in, to even custodians going around and giving tours to make sure all of our incoming sixth graders were really comfortable with the whole campus and getting to see things that, hey, this will be where you're at, seventh grade year, eighth grade year. And so they got a great preview. And the last 2 weeks has been very active. When I have broached into town off the ranch, I have people tracking me down, introducing themselves. And so it feels like there's a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, and a lot of smiling faces.
Norma, did you have anything?
Looking forward to another year.
Great. Okay, if there's anything,